Greetings from MIT OpenCourseWare Centric Wiki World University and School on this Monday, July 14th, 2025 at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. East Coast time. I think it's 10:30 p.m. India time and maybe 1 p.m. Hong Kong time the next day. Happy Bastille Day in France. And as we wait to see if people will join this open question and answer WUAS weekly business meeting opportunity for conversation about free online education in your country, in all of 200 countries, and in their main languages, and for free online WUAS degrees, as well as about wiki schools for open teaching and learning, for speakers of each of all 7,159 known living languages. I'd like to share a little news with you. So first, World University and Schools, WUAS, weekly business meeting met last July 7th, 2025, and the recording is posted at the current main YouTube channel for World University and School, youtube.com/videos/Scott McLeod World University. And in it, World University and School was glad to receive an email earlier in the morning from Redwanal Hack, whom I met at a Stanford Law School UNAI for Good conference in April of 2025, who is originally from Pakistan. I think possibly a town outside of Dhaka. Sorry, Bangladesh, not Pakistan. Bangladesh, where the Bangla language is spoken by about 173 million people in Bangladesh, and about it's one of the largest languages in the world, with more speakers in Northeast India, in Kolkata and West Bengal, and Redwano is interested in funding for master's and PhD program. And at Stanford in April, we also talked about his interest in a law degree. And so he writes in this email last July 7th, 2025. This is Redwan. I am looking for a full fund scholarship or 80% scholarship for master's or PhD. So please help me regarding my issues. I want to meeting with you, so please tell me when you are available. So in reply, I wrote to Redwanul and to Mahdi Hassan, who is in Dhaka and who helped create the Bangladesh World University and School, importantly in the Bangla language, and said, thank you for your email, Redwanul, as we talked about at Stanford Law School's UNAI for Good conference, MIT OCW centric Wiki World University and School will be free to students, but WUAS is not yet accredited. Also, as we talked about, you will probably apply for a degree program at WUAS, like applying to other American universities. And WUAS isn't set up to do this yet. Potentially, you could apply for a master's or a PhD program in the Bangla language, his first language, at Wiki MIT OCW centric Bangladesh World University and School. And you can see Bangladesh World University and School at wiki.worlduniversityandschool.org/wiki/Bangladesh. But this is not yet in the Bangla language, but the sites.google.com/view/BD World University and School is in the Bangla language in a beginning way at Bangladesh World University and School, not yet offering degrees there in Bangla. So applications also would occur through these websites. But WUS needs to develop MIT OCW centric and hashtag grow with Google WUS on LinkedIn and Twitter, X, courseware in Bangla, for example, also. What courses in English, Redwanul, would you be interested in studying for a free master's degree from home, but in a realistic virtual Earth as classrooms and field sites? What courses would you be interested in studying from ocw.mit.edu? But since MIT doesn't have a law school, there are no MIT OCW law courses. So I sent him this email in reply to his last Monday, July 7th, 2024, and haven't heard back from him yet. Again, all the best, Scott G.K. McLeod. And you can see I wrote to Redwanul some of his and my and others from the Stanford Law School AI, UNAI, United Nations Artificial Intelligence for Good Conference. Our previous correspondence here in these blog posts, one beginning Grand Teton National Park in April of 2025, another beginning Yellowstone National Park, another beginning Eagle Cap Wilderness, Oregon, another beginning Gratiola Heterocephala Boggs Lake. So World University and School is seeking to translate open courseware, MIT open courseware, and also access other possible course opportunities to create degree programs into Bangla. I'm not sure whether Redwanul is interested in an English language or possibly a Bangla language free WUS master's degree. But it also occurs to me in these regards, and for the video recording as well as the AI and the readers that might engage this video recording that I'll post today after WUS weekly business meeting, that possibly the Mazumdars, parents of my best friend from high school, Pin Mazumdar, the Mazumdar parents, who are University of Pittsburgh professor emeriti, and who now live in the greater DC area, who are from West Bengal, from Northeast India originally, could help with Mahdi Hassan, who helped create the Bangladesh World University and School, and possibly with Redwanul Haq as well, further create the Bangladesh World University and School in the Bangla language and for free degrees in the Bangla language. Would Redwanul Haq be interested in creating online free degrees, degree programs for Bangladeshis, working with possibly the Mazumdar parents who are elderly? So Shati and Moinak Mazumdar in the greater DC area, who as American academics would have, I think, some good ideas about what degree programs in the Bangla language and with what open courseware might work for prospective Bangladeshi students, either Redwanul Hack or possibly brainstorming with Redwanul Hack also helping create a degree program. He could become the head of Bangladesh World University and School, creating degree programs for Bangladeshis and Bangla speakers, all 265 million Bangla speakers, some number of those, in the Bangla language at MIT OCW centric Bangladesh World University and School. So I'll send this video recording to Bangladesh, to Bangla speaker Radwan Haq, and perhaps he will have some further questions for World University and School. Agenda item 02. So CS First with Google, a programming course that meets computer science standards, learning the programming language called Scratch, a drag and drop visual block programming language, has recently been turned down. And its URL, csfirstwith.google.com, now redirects to support.google.com /CS first/answer/158488549, which says that CS First with Google, the course has been turned down. So World University and School had posted at the top of our Twitter feeds, two Twitter feeds, the languages at World University Twitter feed and World University and Schools itself Twitter feed, that taking this course would be a way to, in a way, apply for World University and Schools free degree programs and be able to, for students to be able to, in a way, take a course to matriculate in. But now that this course has been turned down, perhaps it was because it sought to meet computer science education standards and was therefore a fascinating accreditation building block, an accreditable course. Perhaps it was too stringent or something that wasn't inspiring in terms of learning programming, where I think the Scratch programming, drag and drop block visual programming language seeks to be make learning fun through play. So that this course has been turned down. And how now can students matriculate for free degrees at World University and School? Well, as we proceed with the accreditation process further at World University and School, World University and School will work out the applying process for prospective students who are interested in registering at World University and School for online free degrees from home. Hopefully this will be a playful process to apply to World University and School, as World University and School also seeks to revolutionize education with machine learning and AI, for example, and see Peter Norvig's incredible Toolify AI WUAS article with that title, Revolutionizing Education with Machine Learning and AI, World University in School, updated March 2nd, 2024. Agenda item 03. So possibly with regard to play at World University and School 2, the quote unquote Google Play services sign in button on top of my Google Pixel 6a Android operating system smartphone for probably more than 2 years, and which was irremovable. It stood out like a sore thumb, is now removable. and after an Android OS smartphone update. So what does this signify? And especially in WUAS growing a worldwide abolition movement, that this Google Play Services sign-in button is now removable by the end user, and such that were someone on their smartphone to sign in to this Google Play Services button, they could go through some sort of sign up process. World University and School, and I'm glad that this Google Play Services sign in button on top of my Google Pixel 6a Android OS smartphone for probably more than 2 years is now removable and is now gone. Thanks, Google Android, for making this possible to remove this button, this sign in link. Agenda item 1, regarding free World University and School updates. New pinned tweets at the top of at WORLDUNIVANDSCH and at SGKMACLEOD. Free at World Univ and SCH in a hashtag Grow with Google WUS program is working on accreditation, applying, applications process for online CC4 ocw.mit.edu centric bachelor, PhD, law, MD, IB, high school or similar, AA, AS, and MS, Masters of Science, associate degrees of arts or of science in 200 countries and their main languages. So email president@worlduniversityandschool.org with questions. Teach at open hashtag WUAS wikis now. You're welcome to Wiki Teach or Wiki Learn at World University and School now in English. Stay tuned for our application process at World University and School. Agenda item 1A is the Desiderata prose poem of philosophy or philosophy. I asked Google Gemini AI, and yes, it's considered widely a philosophical prose poem. Go placidly among the haste and the noise. Check out the Desiderata as you plan your next steps, learning and teaching wise, and potentially at free to students MIT OCW centric Wiki World University and School for free WUS degrees on the one hand, and in our Wiki schools for open Wiki teaching and Wiki learning on the other hand. And you can read further about this at Laborde Chameleon blog post in my scott-mccloud.blogspot.com blog on in the month of July of 2025, Laborde Chameleon. Agenda item 2. Did your kids miss the opportunity to take free CC4 licensed CS First with Google at World University and School Scratch programming language course? Again, free CC4 and online, and works with Lego Robotics. See, the Scratch programming language works with Lego Robotics. To matriculate into hashtag free to students, ocw.mit.edu centric wiki WUAS. Online from home for free WUS degrees, set of tweets in these regards, and LinkedIn posts. New opportunities to matriculate and enroll at World University and School will emerge. Agenda item 3, how best at World University and School. So this is a longevity and aging reversal agenda item. And a set of tweets in these regards that's innovative in that the question here is, could we connect our molecules and particularly our cells in each of our bodies into Google Street View with Time Slider? And even regarding the Harbin Hot Springs gatehouse, regarding the Harbin book, at Harbin book, my first book and ethnographic book project #1, where in Google Street View with Time Slider at the Harbin Gatehouse, you can time slide between the years 2007, 2012, and 2024 in Google Maps too, and see the Harbin Gatehouse in these 3 years. So could we connect our cells in our bodies with this Google Street View with Time Slider for the years 2007, 2012, and 2024, and even dial back our cells with aging reversal genetic drug therapies, for example, dial back our cells to the years 2007, 2012, or 2024, just last year, it being 2025. And even in a WUS hospital room for multimedia that would be a way to view Google Street View in a smart office meeting room. And could we connect our body cells with our avatar agent electronic health records with Google Street View, Google Time Slider, Harbin Gatehouse in the years 2007, 2012, 2024, and such that we could add copies also, maybe through vaccines, maybe in other ways, to our bodies per George Church's 2019 video on how aging reversal works. It's a 60 minutes video, 66-second long. And he suggests it's not engineering cells that will make aging reversal happen, but it's adding copies of genes. As we age, our gene function declines, and it's adding copies of genes in this one way of conceiving of explaining how aging reversal works that would allow us to reverse aging potentially. Could we reverse again aging back to the years 2007, 2012, 2024 with these technologies? And even back to when we were 7 years old and 12 years old and 24 years old, and all conceptually regarding Google Street View with Google Time Slider, with the Harbin book, Harbin Hot Springs Gatehouse, with its 3 years of 2007, 2012, 2024, and our avatar agent electronic health records for aging reversal and extreme longevity. Lots of experiments, lots of research potential here ahead. Agenda item 4. So this is regarding potentially turning photos with new VO3, Google VO3 technologies, not only into videos, but into interactive avatar agent, conversational generative artificial intelligence chatbots. So also regarding Harbin Hot Springs, my ethnographic physical digital field site, how could the brilliant Sunheart, who was my ethnographic informant and a friend from about 2005 to 2016, when the Valley Fire happened and razed Harbin, Sunhart was originally from Ohio, and in some ways was a kind of minister or teacher at Harbin Hot Springs. And could we, from photos of him, not only create videos of him, but also especially interactive chatbots, artificial intelligence conversational chatbots, and such that Harbin staff, workers, employees, visitors, guests could interact with him in conversational generative artificial intelligence? Could we bring Sunhart alive somehow? He passed away in around 2019, 2020. And it would be fascinating with this new Google VO3, these new Google VO3 technologies to explore creating interactive conversational generative artificial intelligence chatbots, but specifically with Sunhart. Where would we get the databases or the code sources to inform a Sunhart avatar chatbot to be for Harbinites to be able to come into conversation with Sunhart now in the mid 2020s? From Harbin Publications, from the few recordings that I have of him, from pictures that I have of him, from pictures of him on social media, for example, all possible data sources that could inform Sunhart conversational generative artificial intelligence. That would be very cool and innovative and interesting. So the Google VO3 with Gemini AI recent development that came through from Google Blogs is titled "Turn Your Photos into Short Films with Gemini." And I created a set of tweets in these regards with some hashtags. Turn your photos next into hashtag interactive conversational generative, hashtag avatar agents on Twitter and LinkedIn for hashtags. Cool. So turn your photos into short films with Gemini, e.g. hashtag Sunhart picture, and a blog post with his picture from my blog, Beginning Gorse, Sunhart, Heart Song at Harbin Hot Springs. And regarding hashtag virtual Harbin with a URL to the Harbin Gatehouse in Google Street View, Google Maps with time slider. And see also the 5 presentations I gave, talks I gave at UC Berkeley Anthropology in the Tourism Studies Working Group from 2012 to about 2020, beginning Doubleday Hummingbird, Ceanthus, in a blog post of mine, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com from 2020. Check this out. Fascinating possibility to turn Sunhart into an interactive conversational artificial intelligence avatar agent with Gemini. Agenda item 5. Stanford Law Codex Director Roland Vogel recently sent a Harvard study from Computer Science Department of Possible Interest, which I shared with about 1,800 people in the WS Weekly Business Meeting. A couple of PhD students at Harvard are seeking lawyer participants from anywhere in the world. So the description of their study reads, "We are conducting a study to understand how domain experts engage with tools that support writing and skimming tasks. We're reaching out to you to invite you to participate in a 60 to 75-minute interview where you'll have the opportunity to explore 3 tools developed to support writing and information review. In this session, you'll share your experiences with writing and reviewing text in your domain. Secondly, interact with 2 prototypes designed to support writing and skimming. Thirdly, reflect on their relevance or potential applications to your work. This study can be conducted either in person or remotely. No preparation is needed. And we are not collecting any sensitive or identifiable data. The interfaces are accessible as a web application, so no installation is required. Your feedback will inform the design of future expert-facing tools, which we would be happy to bring back to you if built, if desired. Regardless, we value your time and expertise, and if desired, we can explicitly acknowledge your participation in future publications informed by your input. Who can participate? We are looking for lawyers and legal professionals involved in writing or reviewing legal documents, as well as physicians and medical professionals who create or work with clinical documentation. Must be over 18 years old and fluent in English to participate. Sign up with a link here. If you have questions, please email cswoops@g.harvard.edu. Thank you. Chelsea Swoops, Ziwa Gu, Professor Elena Glassman at Harvard University. So I included in this emailing for today, 7/14/2025, question whether might the people at medical schools in these WUS emailings reach out further regarding physicians and medical professionals who create or write or work with clinical documentation with this Harvard computer science study. And I also wondered whether there's an opportunity here for example, World University and School networking with Harvard, and also regarding possible programmers, faculty, researchers, staff at WUS in the future out of such a communication. Stay tuned. Agenda item 6. So recent wiki additions to World University and School wiki subject pages. First, in the folk rock music wiki subject page, I added 4 Steel Eye Span recordings, LPs from the 1970s, including how the format that World University and School is using for citation on our wiki subject pages. Author or name, year, URL, open bracket, URL, if that is part of the reference that one's teaching with, that one's adding, title of the album or the reference, close bracket, place of publication, publisher, and potentially also I created a blog post with these 4 lovely recordings of Steel Eye Span's great albums from the 1970s, and a link to the folk rock music wiki school or wiki subject for your listening and learning enjoyment. Could people play music in their homes, play their instruments with these recordings of Steel Eye Span, or sing along with them for learning purposes? And check out also the blog post that includes these, beginning Primula, Scotica, Scottish Primrose, scott-mccloud.blogspot.com/2025/07/Primula Scotica Scottish Primrose. Agenda item 7. Further recent wiki adding to WUAS of 3 performances by Christopher Scott Thiele, who is a MacArthur Grant recipient in 2012. And these 3 recordings include him performing live. So I added these to the mandolin wiki subject page as a form of teaching, as a form of creating a base, for example, for remarkable learning from remarkable mandolin playing by Chris Thiele. Check these out. Have a listen. You'll find these also in a blog post beginning Laborde's Chameleon in July of 2025 in my blog. Agenda item 8. So I asked, this is regarding German-speaking countries and developing world university and school in German in these countries with potentially open courseware in these countries in German, but also possibly translating MIT open courseware into German and how this would work. And I asked in German, and incredibly, Gemini AI replied in German with also great responses regarding the educational systems in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and also regarding beginning in German, the Germany World University and School, the Austria World University and School, the Switzerland World University and School. So the question I asked was, how can free-to students, due to Creative Commons licensing and accrediting in America, like MIT or Harvard or Stanford are accredited, and regarding German students who take degrees at these universities, Harvard, Stanford, MIT, how can Creative Commons licensing of MIT OpenCourseWare at World University and School best translate the CC4 MIT OpenCourseWare into German? More than 2,500 courses at MIT OpenCourseWare in English for matriculating WUS students in or at Germany World University and School, at Austria World University and School, at Switzerland World University and School. And regarding the translated courses at MIT OpenCourseWare that are now numbering, I think, 7. Sometimes 5, sometimes 7 are listed on this one webpage, as I think MIT OpenCourseWare further develops its approach to translated courses that they've been involved in. Check out the Gemini AI responses. And this would be at World University and School in these countries, World University and Schools in German for free to students' degrees within these 3 countries' educational and legal systems. Gemini AI responses are fantastic. You'll also find more about this and be able to read the blog posts, the Gemini AI responses in my blogs, Primulus, Gotica, Scottish Primrose, July of 2025, beginning with those, that flower species. Agenda item 9. Humanities 110 at Reed College reads many books from the ancient Greek world in its first year required humanities 110 class. And I recently found the syllabus for this, which course I took in 1979 to 1980, on the humanities wiki subject at World University and School, and asked Gemini AI about possibly 10 writers, 10 authors, from Aeschylus to Herodotus to Thucydides to Hesiod to the pre-Socratics, to Euripides, to Plato, Socrates, and Aristotle, and got some great, incredible replies from Gemini AI. Check this out at blog post in July of 2025 at scott-mccloud.blogspot honeybee.com, beginning honeybee apis. Agenda item 10, developments regarding moving forward with the WUS Academic Medical Center into a newly safe vacant 670 Ridgecrest Road, Canyon 94516, are happening gradually. And regarding possible Kaiser Permanente medical research collaborations too. And also in innovative ways for a physical digital hashtag realistic virtual earth for longevity and for physical digital experiments into even doubling the lifespan of specific species. Humans, dogs, mice, 3 mammals, which share a lot in common, and chickens, bees, and Drosophila flies, all of which have wings, which is fascinating from a genetic perspective. How could we double their lifespans experimentally and to contribute to extreme longevity research? Could we add back specific gene copies of genes at certain times in each of these species lifespans to double their lifespan? And search on, quote, beginning with a realistic virtual earth for genetics and longevity genetics, actual dash physical virtual actual dash virtual physical dash digital research with these 6 species: humans, dogs, mice, chickens, honeybees, and Drosophila flies, D. melanogaster, in the blog post from the year 2022 in January, beginning balsam-fur in scott-mccloud.blogspot.com, 2022/01/balsam-fur.html. Agenda item 11. This comes into conversation with a Twitter post that John Palfrey made past 2 or 3 days, the president of the MacArthur Foundation and also former head of Phillips Academy Andover and a former Harvard Law professor. So he has a long time interest in news, in local news, in its benefits for democracy. And I'm excited for the Universitian newspaper at WUAS, the college newspaper, hashtag the Universitian newspaper at WUAS, with a wiki subject for this, which is still in its embryo phase, infancy. Beyond this wiki subject page, we're not publishing a Universitian newspaper at WUS yet. And at MIT OCW Centric Wiki World University and School, planned in 200 countries in their main languages. And also see the journalism wiki subject page. And check out MIT OCW World University and School. Check out OpenCourseWare eventually, which will for WUS credit toward free WUS degrees. So a couple of things here. And we're excited about World University and School having possible students, matriculated students in all 200 countries as learning journalism, and how this might help peoples in these countries regarding the power of journalism to help shape democracy. And also fascinating that World University and School could conceivably offer PhDs in journalism. We haven't, beyond master's degrees and bachelor's degrees, possibly AA and AS degrees as well in journalism, where Stanford University, for example, and Boston University, for example, offer PhDs in journalism. So this set of tweets retweets John Palfrey's Twitter post, journalists are essential members of our communities. Orgs like Type Investigations help journalists tell local stories that often have civic impact. #WeTheCivic celebrates stories of voices standing up for democracy. Share your own and read more. That World University and Schools matriculated students in all 200 countries could, living at home, offer local windows, into their countries, into the civic life of their countries. And as journalist students begin to write about these, is a fascinating possibility for distributedness of the web at World University and School regarding the University and News paper and the journalism wiki subject. So students and universitians could add articles to the journalism wiki subject in each of their 200 countries' main languages also. And potentially for students taking degrees in journalism. So agenda item 12, last agenda item on the World University and School wing. This is regarding the incredible HTGAA, How to Grow Almost Anything, synthetic biology course that I was a global listener in this past spring with George Church as a professor and David Sung Kong as a professor and Joe Jacobson as a professor, all MIT professors, where George Church is also a Harvard professor. He's a professor at both Harvard and MIT. And this online synthetic biology laboratory course had not only registered MIT and Harvard students, it also had committed listeners. So prospective synthetic biology students from all over the world, with this course setting up physical laboratories in cities, main cities, all around the world, in Japan, in Korea, in San Francisco, California. So where committed listeners, for example, possibly registered Harvard and MIT students could do the laboratory work in this synthetic biology class. So I'm here further wondering how World University and School students could become committed listeners in this great How to Grow Almost Anything online synthetic biology lab course for WUS credit, in the same way that registered MIT and Harvard students got credit for this course when they were from their lab work as well in the laboratories, primarily at MIT this spring. So I include the final presentations link recording at mit.zoom.us. I'm not sure who will be able to watch this in what browsers, since it may be for only for registered MIT and Harvard students and committed listeners and global listeners, of which I was one, that may be able to view this. But I think it's a useful resource for contributing to this conversation of growing online laboratory science for free online degrees for prospective MIT OCW-centric World University and School students too, but also its openness with their making it possible for committed listeners and global listeners. Committed listeners did the work of the 10 hours or so for this course, and I think got grades as well, for example, or credit. So a set of tweets in these regards. Brainstorming in what ways could World Univ and SCH, WUS students as hashtag committed listeners in this great How to Grow Almost Anything, HTGAA, hashtag online synthetic biology lab course with hashtag MIT Harvard registered students, with the link to the final presentations from HTGAA 2025 spring. Take this for WUS credit from home. Thank you, HTGAA. So moving to the other wing of World University and School now, the WUS Corporation, second of two WUS wings, a for-profit general stock company legal entity in the state of California. WUS Corporation, the WUS Press, where the academic press is planned in 7,159 living languages with machine translation. Agenda item a fantastic set of tweets from Senator Elizabeth Warren, also a former Harvard Law professor, and regarding a recent quote unquote big beautiful bill, what she was calling a big ugly bill from the current administration, where 17 million people in the USA lost their health insurance, healthcare coverage, and 40 million people in this 3-minute, 18-second Twitter post video from Senator Elizabeth Warren. 40 million people will face either substantially higher prices in grocery stores or not have access to groceries potentially due to this big ugly bill or big beautiful bill. Could these become opportunities for World University and School, WUS educational stores, WUS grocery stores, but especially for World University and School medical schools developing avatar agent electronic health records for these 17 million people without healthcare now, and for hashtag telemedicine, and regarding especially hashtag aging reversal and hashtag extreme longevity, hashtag gene research, and hashtag WUAS grocery stores, hashtag food for thought, with groceries that prospective students and their families might get from the WUS physical digital educational services stores, WUS grocery stores, for the 40 million people. Set of tweets in these regards. Senator Warren, all. In what ways could at World Univ and SCH develop hashtag WUS medical SCH, hashtag avatar agent electronic health records for these 17 million people without healthcare, for hashtag telemedicine, and hashtag aging reversal, and hashtag extreme longevity, hashtag gene research, and hashtag WUS grocery stores for the 40 million people who recently lost their benefit or access in these regards. Is this an opportunity? World University and School seeks to have our stores be value-oriented stores, possibly offering goods and products for 10% less than other stores. For example, we would also like to become, or perhaps grow out of sort of, or in collaboration with Walmart's software and infrastructure in all 200 countries in these regards. The Twitter post that Senator Warren wrote at Sen Warren reads, Donald Trump's, quote, big beautiful bill, end quote, is now law. It rips healthcare away from 17 million people and raises grocery costs for 40 million people just to pay for tax handouts for billionaires and billionaire corporations. Here's where we go next, and watch the 3-minute video. This is in a blog post titled Luna Moth Actius-Luna from, I think, Sunday. Check it out. This yesterday, July 6th, 2025. Could also, with these 17 million people, World University and School grow our online WUS hospitals, possibly with telemedicine? Could we offer telemedicine, but also for clinical research, for aging reversal and extreme longevity genetic drug therapies, possibly to help these 17 million people who lost their healthcare, brainstorming, live beyond 122 years of age? If and as these genetic drug therapies may emerge by 2050, per George Church in a recent interview with Dwarkesh Patel, titled "A Cure for Aging by 2050." Agenda item B on the WUS press side, the WS Corporation side. This is a video made by Manuel Castells, who was interviewed in Spain by Cosmano Lombardo, titled "The Impact of AI on Our Society," and regarding my upcoming Society, Infotech, and the Global University book. Set of tweets in these regards. How can World University and School grow with AI, which has been around since the 1950s, and potentially help our students learn in completely different ways? Also, for a realistic virtual Earth for museums, all ever, in all languages, also for a realistic virtual Earth for libraries, all ever in all languages, and think in Google Street View with TimeSlider, Maps Earth, where we'd be able to enter into the virtual museums, into halls and rooms with objects of art, into libraries, and browse their stacks, their library shelves, and pull books off the shelf right then and there. In 1910, differently from 1974, say in the Smithsonian, in the Library of Congress, or Harvard's libraries, to increase access to library books for our matriculated students, to these forms of knowledge generation, museum artworks, objet d'art, as well as access to books. So to close, what does AI do? Agenda item B2 or B1. AI, I asked Gemini this, and I'll just say AI, or artificial intelligence, enables computers and machines, or algorithms, to simulate human intelligence by performing tasks that typically require human-like cognitive abilities. These tasks include learning, reasoning, problem-solving, perception, and language understanding. Essentially, AI allows systems to analyze data, recognize patterns, and make decisions, often adapting to new information and experiences. Here's a more detailed breakdown. Learning. AI systems can learn from data, identify patterns, and improve their performance over time, without explicit programming for every task. Reasoning. AI can analyze information, draw conclusions, and make inferences based on available data. Problem solving. AI can be programmed to tackle complex problems, finding solutions based on defined parameters and data analysis. Perception. AI can enable machines to, quote unquote, see and interpret the world around them through computer vision, allowing them to identify objects, understand scenes, and even navigate. Language understanding. AI can process and understand human language, enabling tasks like translation, text generation, and voice recognition. Decision making. AI can analyze data and make decisions based on the information, often in real time, and sometimes even autonomously. Applications of AI. AI is used in a wide range of applications, including automation, automating repetitive tasks in various industries like manufacturing, customer service, and data entry. Data analysis, analyzing large data sets to identify trends, patterns, and insights that would be difficult or impossible for humans to discern. Personalized recommendations, suggesting products, content, or services based on user preference and behavior. Healthcare, assisting with diagnosis, drug discovery, and personalized treatment plans. Finance, detecting fraud, managing risk, and providing financial advice. Transportation, developing self-driving cars and optimizing traffic flow. Entertainment, generating creative content like music and art, and powering personalized gaming experiences. In essence, AI aims to augment human capabilities and create more efficient, accurate, and intelligent systems across various domains. So fascinating recent developments in history, in computing, in computer science regarding artificial intelligence. Read about this more at World University and School in the blog post beginning Primula Scotica, Scottish Primrose. And perhaps we can explore this further in a realistic virtual Earth, particularly a realistic virtual Harbin hot springs for soaking meditation and for studying Harbin ethnographically and for studying brain processes with brainwave headsets, for example, from the Harbin warm pool, but also from our home bathtubs as a new set of possible set of inquiries, research questions that artificial intelligence may be able to help with in a realistic virtual Earth for Harbin hot springs. My first books, ethnographic field site, and planned second Harbin ethnographic book project as well, from potentially Google Street View, Google Maps, Google Street View with Time Slider, and as part of the academic press at World University and School, text in the sidebar, where World University and School from Google Street View with Time Slider would seek to publish both, one, to paper, and secondly, to new digital formats. So publish books in brand new ways, inventing the book anew to new digital formats, such as to the back of our glasses, in the back of digital masks as books, that we could enter into these books potentially, still with text in the sidebar, or into published books into multimedia rooms that might have our bathtubs in them for soaking meditation at virtual Harbin from home. So stay tuned. This is WS's weekly business meeting on Monday, July 14th, 2025, Bastille Day. I'll post the recording of this to the main current YouTube video channel for World University and School, youtube.com/Scott McLeod, World University. This is also in a blog post, 2 blog posts from today at World University and School, beginning Big Pygmy Goby, Eviota Sigillata, at scott-mcleod.blogspot and World University and School.blogspot.com. So until next Monday, July 21st, 2025, have a good week. Come into conversation with World University and School. on social media. I'll post the recording of this to our LinkedIn main profiles, as well as to twitter.com/WORLDUNIVANDSCH and twitter.com, x.com, WUAS Press, as well as to these two blog posts. Until next week, bye for now.